From TravelingMom.com, and I'm with Juli Inkster. I have been wanting this interview for the past 3 years that I've been coming to Sybase, and I made it so far as to meet your caddy, which is great, and learned a little about you from him, that you have several children.
I have two.
Two, okay.
Yeah,
I thought,
couple.
Okay, for some reason I thought it was four. Okay.
No, I got
so
two kids. Yes.
And maybe it's because you've been on tour for several years,
yes.
Right?
Just a couple of years. Yes.
Okay, just a couple of years, but you long enough to remember before the LPGA had daycare. Is that right?
That's correct. When I had my oldest, who's 20 now, when I first had her, we didn't have daycare out here. So, you know, I had my parents out here for my first year, and my mother-in-law, they kind of switched off, and that's how we did it. The following year, we finally got daycare.
You got daycare the following year, and that was, you were instrumental in that.
Well,
that's what Myra Blackwelder said.
Yeah, Myra Blackwelder helped. Kathy Hanlon, who's now Kathy Marino, Judy Dickinson. They had kids before me. Kathy Gehring. So, you know, a few of them also helped.
Well, that's a big deal because I see the young ladies now who are playing. To them, it's absolutely normal to continue playing after you have kids. It's not a consideration that they can't.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. It's because. I don't know, I just think a mom has the mommy gene in there and kind of the guilty gene that you don't want to leave the kids and go to work. But, you know, I was very fortunate enough to be able to bring my kids with me, and, you know, we traveled since they were 6 weeks old on the tour every week. You know, my husband had a job in Northern California, so we tried to make a pact that I would never have the kids more than 2 weeks without him seeing them, and we really stuck to that.
And how, did you have to give up anything to stick to that? Did you give up any tournaments?
Oh yeah, I gave up a lot of tournaments, but you know what? I was fine with it. I mean, my number one priority was to be a mom, and you know, I really struggled with my golf game when they were little because you know I had a stay-at-home mom, and every time you know she was there, and you know I kind of figured it out. I mean, Haley was probably I don't know 3 years old when I figured out, you know, as long as they're with you, they don't know any different.
Right.
They don't know that. I mean, when she went to kindergarten, she couldn't believe that not everybody's been on a million airplanes, you know, or not everybody's stayed in a hotel or had room service.
Right,
you know,
right.
they don't know that. You know, they just think this is a world that every kid does. But you know, now they're 20 and 16, and they still love to travel. And you know, I think because we spent so much time together that, you know, we're really close. It's great.
Well, you know, to your point about having a 20-year-old and a 16-year-old, just because they're older doesn't mean you're not communicating. I saw you pick up your phone out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if it was one of your kids or not, but let's say it was.
It is.
And I also saw you talking to one of the other players about, you were asking a caddy about his kids and that kind of thing. And then you're able to go right back and hit the ball perfectly straight and really far.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
Well, I've just done it for so long. I mean, I just, you know, I don't know. I have a really good relationship with my kids, and, you know, I try not to be away for more than 10 days. It's kind of fun.
Even now that they're older.
Even now, yeah. Well, you know, Haley's in college, so, you know, it's different. But my other one, who's a sophomore in high school, you know, so, and they, you know, Haley, who's in college, I probably talk to her 3 or 4 times a day, and she texts me 4 or 5 times. I mean, you know, she's my communicator. My 16-year-old, I gotta kind of communicate with her. But, you know, you just learn how to deal with your kids, and, you know, what works for them.
Right. And when you're playing, though, do you text her and say, okay, I'm getting ready to play a game, so I'm off for like 3 hours?
Yeah, they know what time I play and call me when you get done, and, you know, how'd you play. I mean, I think the best thing about it is, which I did, is never made it about my game, my score. I mean, I made it about them. I mean, sometimes I'd finish and go home and they didn't even ask me what I shot. So,
okay.
You know,
okay, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know if that was dinner table talk or not.
No, we just really, I mean, and when they're out there, you know, they travel with me a lot during the summer. They might just come out for 3 or 4 holes. So, you know, I try to make it more about them than about what I do.
Okay, so I have 2 more questions. One is, do you have a personal must-pack item? Not a PDA or a computer, but like you never leave home without your...
As far as kids-wise?
No, just for you. Your personal item.
probably my computer, and I don't. It's not like I do anything on it. It's just, I guess it's a time filler. Yeah.
Twitter sort
Yeah.
of. When I said we're going to be on Twitter, it's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not a big Twitter fan, but
Okay.
I mean, I don't even know how to do it. So.
Well, okay, so that one, and then the other one is, this is sort of the traveling mom initiation question,
Okay.
and just so you know, Pat has answered it and Laura has
Okay.
answered it, okay? Do you have a vomit story for me? When you're
Oh,
traveling,
yeah.
you
Oh,
got
yeah.
a kid vomit
Oh, yeah.
story? Most of us do.
I got both end stories. Right?
Okay,
At the
let's
same
hear
time,
what
yeah.
any bodily excretion will do, but
Oh,
this
yeah.
is how moms bond.
Yeah.
We bond over this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, Haley was probably, I don't know, 8 months old, and we were, I'll tell you how old it was, Pan Am. We were on a Pan
Okay,
Am
they're
flight.
on Pan Am.
Here we go. They don't even know who Pan Am is, but we were going, I think, from like New Jersey to Minnesota, and I just missed the cut, and I'm flying with my parents, and I'm in my mind, I'm going, what the hell am I doing? And, I got Haley on my lap, and she just gets the Rias all over me, all over everything I'm wearing.
After you didn't make the cut.
After I didn't, it was just a bad flight, and
So
what
were
are you
like,
gonna do?
is this a sign?
I had a lot of signs.
Yeah.
I remember flying back again from Minnesota with Corey, and she must have Ralph. We must have went through 10 or 12 bags. But you know what? Kids are resilient. I mean,
Yeah, it's more
Corey,
about us.
Yeah, Corey was just so good. I mean, I knew she felt horrible, and there's nothing we could do, and she never cried, never whimpered. She, she's. I mean, they're more resilient than we are.
Yeah, so the Rias thing, let's just go back to that for a second.
Yeah, well,
Let's,
that was.
this,
What
you
are you
need
gonna
to
say
teach
with
us.
that?
What do you do? Do you get up and quietly
I
go to the
got
restroom?
up and I, got her all, tried to clean her up as best I could, and
What about you?
me, I just kind of a little dap and put a sweatshirt on, and I was good to go. But I'll tell you, that shower was good that night. There's no doubt about that.
That's great.
Yeah.
This is Kim Orlando with Juli Inkster at the Sybase tournament in New Jersey.